Hello, I'm Claire Valdini and welcome to a special edition of Arabian Business TV. 4 years ago, British businessman Safi Qurashi made international headlines when it emerged he purchased the Great Britain Island on Nikhil's World Island development. But that purchase quickly turned into a 2.5-year nightmare when Safi was found guilty of bouncing 3 cheques and sentenced to 7 years in jail. Today he joins us for his first interview since being released. Safi, thank you for joining us today.
You're welcome, thank you.
Can you just clear up the legal situation regarding your case at the moment?
Sure. As you said, 2 of the cases of bouncing cheques were quashed and verdicts of not guilty were passed by the Supreme Court, which obviously is fantastic news. The 3rd case is still pending. We're waiting for the results of the civil court, which is still not out yet. So we're hoping, from the reports and everything else that we have, that we're hoping that that should also go the same way.
So just to clarify, those first 2 convictions were quashed and overturned?
Yes, they were quashed and I was found not guilty, so that was great.
And you've said previously that you want to set a precedent with this case. Can you expand a little bit about what you mean on that?
I think it's just a question of that. If cheques bounce in Dubai, it is a criminal offence. We all know that. And it's wrong, especially, this is the law of the country. But where I'm coming from, and probably many others like myself, is that we give cheques now as everyday part of life in Dubai, and you give cheques on trust. That I give a cheque to somebody on the trust that they will deliver to me what I've actually paid them for, or what I have given them as a security cheque or a post-dated cheque. And the question comes in is that if the other party doesn't deliver, or if they put in cheques that they're not entitled to, I shouldn't be held criminally responsible for that action. I should have a recourse, a right of way to go and say, hey, these cheques should never have been banked in the first place. And if they weren't banked in the first place, they would never have bounced, because no crime could have been committed. And that's really what we're hoping that this highlights. And I hope it will help others, to follow the same way.
You've said that you want to help some of the other people that are in jail. How do you plan to go about that now you've been released? Well,
hopefully we'll be able to share with them the process that we use, the laws that were used and helped us to go into the Supreme Court. So it's just a question of sharing with the other prisoners what was done, how it was done, and hope that they will also benefit. There are laws that protect, and I think it's just a question of being able to know about them, have the knowledge of them, and apply them, and justice will prevail.
You've said previously that the British Embassy weren't as helpful as you had expected them to be. Can you explain that for me, please?
Yeah, I guess, when you get into the situation that, I found myself in, and you're not aware, you're suddenly thrust into a lot of legal issues. You look for legal support and welfare support, and okay, you're supposed to get that, obviously, from the local lawyers as well. But things like due process issues, they could have advised a bit better. I just feel that we feel, myself and a number of British, they could have supported us in different ways, in better ways. No one's asking them to get involved in the legal process of another country. We know that, but I think there's lessons to be learnt here, and I'm hoping that over the next few months that we'll have dialogue with the Foreign Office, where hopefully they'll be able to analyse from both sides what's happened, how things went, and where can they offer improvements so others can benefit as well.
Where would you like to see? Where are those biggest improvements that they can make, do you think?
I think I need to share that really with the FCO first, and sit down with them, and I hope from that, lessons, as I said, lessons can be learned. I think you should continuously look to improve what you're doing. I think none of us have ever got to the stage that we can turn around and say, oh well, this is the best that we can do, and we're not going to move forward from here. So I think as situations keep coming up, you need to continuously improve, and the only way you're going to improve is by having a two-way conversation with the people who've, like myself, suffered. So we can at least share where the sufferings are, where we think improvements can be made. And if they can, then that's very good.